There are truths best left unspoken, and houses better left unentered. Some structures do not shelter men, they trap them. And some inheritances are not gifts, but legacies of rot. It was late in the autumn of 1847, under a sky the color of old bone, that I came into possession of Grieve House. It stood not far from the outskirts of Providence, hidden among the blackened cypress trees and shivering pines of a forgotten hollow. A letter, sent by trembling hand and postmarked with neither date nor seal, had informed me of the sudden and grim demise of my cousin, Bartholomew Mallory. I had not seen Bartholomew in years. He had always been of an academic persuasion, withdrawn, brilliant, and morbid in equal measure. When we were boys, he had already taken to studying funerary customs, ancient languages, and the grim theology of forgotten cults. I had once found him in our grandfather's mausoleum, speaking Latin backwards into a hole in the ground. He claimed to have heard a reply. As we aged, his letters became less frequent, but more obscure, full of rambling theories about subterranean consciousness, ancestral memory, and a kind of unhallowed geometry that permeated certain places in the world like a curse. I dismissed them at the time as the fantasies of a lonely intellect, until I arrived at Grieve House. It was a beast of stone and timber, slouched into the valley like a predator at rest. Ivy choked its walls. The windows stared like the eyes of a blind man who still sees. It was not abandoned, but rather waiting. The housekeeper, a frail, parchment-skinned woman by the name of Mrs. Hemmings, greeted me at the door. Her gaze was long and dry. She spoke little, and what she did say, she said with unease. Master Bartholomew was not himself toward the end, she muttered. Said he was being watched from the floor, said the ground had memory. I made some effort to dispel the atmosphere with rationality and mild humor, but the house would not allow it. It absorbed joy like a sponge absorbs blood. Even the fireplaces, when lit, gave off no warmth. There was a smell, faint, metallic, and wet, that pervaded every corridor. It clung to the back of the throat like mold. Bartholomew's study was untouched. Piles of yellowed books, brittle scrolls, and scrawled notes lay heaped across the great desk like the remains of a mind unraveled. The journal I discovered among them remains the most unsettling object I have ever read. Its entries began lucidly enough, accounts of architectural renovations, cataloguing of ancient relics, but gradually gave way to disturbed observations. He had, apparently, discovered a hidden sub-basement beneath the manor's cellar, one not listed in any plans, and not of any recent construction. The stonework, he wrote, was older than the foundation of the house itself, possibly older than the town. The further he explored, the more erratic his writing became. I dream now of a great mouth, yawning beneath the earth, its teeth the jagged roots of trees. It speaks in a tongue without sound, but I understand it. I think it knows me. Another entry. There is no bottom to the pit. I dropped a lamp into it, and it fell forever. But the light did not disappear. It grew stronger the deeper it fell. His final entry was a smear of ink and something darker, with only 4 words legible. It has come up. On the 3rd night, I awoke not to silence, but to the sound of digging. It came from below, not the cellar, but deeper, as though something were clawing its way through the strata of earth beneath the house. The sound was methodical, not like an animal, but like intention. I rose, lit my lantern, and against all reason descended into the dark. The cellar smelled of damp stone and something fouler, sulfur perhaps, or the exhale of ancient corpses. At the far end, behind old barrels and cobwebbed crates, I found it. A door. Wooden, iron-banded, locked from the outside. I pried it open with a crowbar. Beyond it, a tunnel descended at an impossible angle, as though gravity itself were warped. The walls were lined not with stone or timber, but with something smoother and warm to the touch. The deeper I went, the louder the digging became, and then it stopped. I emerged into a chamber not built by hands. It was circular, wet, and pulsing faintly with a crimson light from no visible source. Symbols, neither hieroglyphic nor runic, were etched into every surface. They moved, slowly, breathing. In the center of the chamber was a pit, perfectly round, impossibly dark. My lantern dimmed as I approached it. I could not see the bottom. I could not see my own hands. Then I felt it. A presence, not beside me, but within. It entered my thoughts like smoke into a lung. It spoke without language. It knew me. You are Mallory. You are the blood. The seal is broken. I screamed. I do not know for how long. The tunnel convulsed, and the red light flared as if in pleasure. Something moved in the pit, not up, not down, but sideways, as if space itself had become unhinged. I fled. Mrs. Hemmings was gone by the time I reached the upper floors. The front door would not open. The windows showed only walls, as though the outside world had been painted over. I collapsed on the floor of the study and must have slept, for when I awoke it was day. The door opened. The windows revealed the sky. But the cellar had sealed itself. Stone now blocked the passage. The tunnel, the chamber, the pit, they were all gone. And yet I feel it. Even now, as I write these words, I feel it beneath me, watching, thinking. The house was sold to a banker from Boston. He lasted 4 months. They found him muttering in a dried-up well, reciting names no one recognized. Do not go below. Do not listen when it knocks. Do not speak your name aloud. For some things remember, and some things hunger. Still,